Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's part 40 today and we are back for a fitting occasion as we face Real Sociedad in our opening Europa Conference Group Stage game before going to former club Dundee in the Scottish Premiership, just trying to hold on to top spot because Rangers and Celtic have had pretty poor starts, albeit Celtic have found form by beating us at the weekend. And we've done alright against the sort of lower end sides and we've tried to compete, we've tried to be consistent, and despite an injury crisis, we continue to compete. However, things could go wrong very quickly. We're running out of players in certain positions and certain areas of the squad, despite our director of football's hoarding of players in the window. And we got a little bit of news on transfer deadline day to talk about as well. So plenty to get through. If you are looking forward to this one though, and you're enjoying the series so far, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content from 2 long-term stories. And you can catch up with any of the playlists you've missed so far, the live stream series and the podcast channel in the eye above. And thank you so much for your support with all of it. It really does mean a lot. The bank balance is looking good at Hibernian. Everything else is going okay. But we have got a little bit of transfer news first. So let's take a look at that. Our director of football has weirdly agreed a loan deal a week after the window shut for January. That's Lewis Bate, a central midfielder. Looks very good to come in on loan from Chelsea. But I don't know why it's been done now rather than a week before the window closed. If we look at the history though, a little bit on deadline day. Henry Curtis left the club on loan. Colin Lennon left the club, that one on a £10,000 deal to Motherwell. A youngster that didn't have a huge amount of potential, and there's a sell-on fee in there as well. And then all the players coming into the club are youngsters. I mean, Freddie Draper came in during the last episode, a young striker that's not going to set the world alight. And the same for Henry Curtis, who's gone back out on loan to Bromley. He's a decent young player, he's got a bit of potential, but I don't see him ever being a threat to the first team. So that's where we are at the moment. A massive profit made in the window. We've got to be fair to the director of football. And if we have a look at the schedule, it's not harmed us too much on the pitch. We've played 2 games since the last episode. We got our favourite result, a 1-0 win at St Mirren. Jay Stansfield off the bench with a late winner. And then a 2-1 defeat at home to Celtic. 2 first half goals, a John Souttar injury. It was not a good 45 minutes. But Kevin Nisbet came back into it in the second half, though we couldn't quite find the equaliser. So that leads us into today off the back of a defeat, 2-3 in all competitions, but we've won 4 league games. We've beaten teams we'd expect to beat. At home to Aberdeen we got a good result, and then 3 good away wins against Livingston, Falkirk and St Mirren, and 3 of them by 1-0, so a defensive improvement too. But if we have a look at the injury centre, it's not just the players who are out injured at the moment, it's the players coming back that's a problem too, because we are without more than it looks like. So Connor Ronan is out for 3 to 6 weeks. John Souttar for 2 to 5. We've got Matthias Bogic coming back from injury. Not quite ready today. He's going to be on the bench if in the squad at all. And then Jimmy Dunn is back from injury but not ready to start. So we're missing a centre half. We're missing a right back. And we're missing both of our first choice number 10s. Carl McGuinness, another one of those central midfielders out with a knock. As is Fergus Morris, the youngster. But there is a little bit of potential in there. We've got one player in the development centre we're keeping an eye on. That man's George Hodge. He has been a little bit unhappy at the club because he wanted to go out on loan. But he looks a good player, so I might give him a chance in the first team and see if that wins him around. Graham Kerr's not far behind, an 18-year-old midfielder. Not quite so much potential, but a good passer of the ball. There's a lot of talent in this Hibs academy, and we've just got to hope we can get a few of them on board. But as it stands, we're in a decent position. The dynamics are okay. Most of the players are on cue. Josh Doig unhappy he couldn't go to Celtic. The director of football on deadline day rejected 3 or 4 offers rising up to £15 million. The same for Ryan Astley, up to £4.5 million from Villa. But they're both unhappy. And the director of football couldn't resolve those problems. And neither could Stevie Mallam, one of the key leaders at the club. So if we go and have a look at our lineup for today, we'll take a look at that Sociedad team in a minute. We've got Boggess back, who's going to miss out on the squad, and the same with Jimmy Dunn. I want to give them both a game away at Dundee, who, look at that, are bottom of the league early on. That could be quite fun. Semenyo's still looking for his first goal up front. Dylan Tate's getting a run in, the third choice number 10, who we signed in the summer. And then the likes of Lee Farrell back in after international duty. Josh Doig after injury and internationals. But still a bit weaker. Mark Flynn covering at right back, naturally a centre mid. Ryan Astley in at centre half, nowhere near the strength of Jimmy Dunn. So there are a few problems. But it's still a good lineup and we'll see how we get on. We've got Gunnarsson in goal, Flynn and Doig the fullbacks with Porteous and Astley at centre-half, Kene, Mallon, Farrell and Tate the midfield four in the diamond, and Nisbet alongside Semenyo still looking for that goal with Cummins and Stansfield available off the bench if needed. So into it we go. It's Hibernian v Real Sociedad. In our first game of the Europa Conference Group Stages, we've probably got our toughest of the 3 home tests. For us, it's 3 changes from the weekend. Sutar's injury, of course, enforced. But in the other 2 positions, Doig and Farrell coming back in for Bonner and Vaux. And that's probably strengthening the team, if anything. I've already noticed the Polish international striker Milik. He's in the squad today for the visitors. He's a good striker as well. Pedro Neto's a good player. The centre-half's a good one as well. There's not a huge amount of recognisable names. Wendell at left-back, he often pops up too. So I'm going to drop to a balanced mentality. I'm interested to see what tactic they play against us. And I'm interested to see how our players deputise and cope. It's a 4-2-3-1. They're a good little side. And this is going to be a real tough test. If we have a look at example of Milik, he's a quality player. I mean, real top class. He's on loan from Lyon, worth 31 million. How much is he earning? 91,000 a week. Wow. The key player is Mikel Merino, who thankfully for us is on the bench today. He's on 84 grand a week, and despite having a poor start to his career at Newcastle, is world class in this game now. Roberto Lopez, the starting number 10. Okay, this side are a different class. Damsgaard, the lone left winger, top quality. Billy Gilmore on the bench. A hero from our beta save with Wigan. Developed into a very good player here. It's just a side that are bordering on top class. I don't quite know how they're 18th in the Spanish First Division at the minute. So I suppose La Liga are only 3 games in, so that doesn't make it quite so bad. But this is going to be one hell of a test. A brilliant side we're up against, a balanced mentality. We're going to try and keep men behind the ball. With 10 minutes gone, we'll take 0-0. But it's a corner kick for the visitors. Zakaria are in. I'm right on cue. If there's anything you don't want to give away against a side significantly better than you, it's a silly goal from an open header and free space from a set piece. We could not ask for much worse than that. As Astley picks the ball up at the back to Farrell, to Mallon. Can we bounce back from it? The switch is under hit. Neto gets there. Tate wins it back. Good football, but we're getting snuffed out. And we've got a side who are pressing us just as high. As Tate goes down the left to Farrell. In towards Nisbet. He's in here. And Kevin Nisbet has scored. I thought that was offside there for a minute. It certainly looked it. But of course VAR in this competition, so we know it's not. And with 11 minutes gone, we're back on terms. After our brilliant start to the season defensively, we've been caught out from a set piece. We've bounced back and we've got another chance here. Astley plays a 1-2 with Mallon from the corner. Kene's up with a header. It's just over the bar. What a 15 minutes it's been. Hibernian 1, Real Sociedad 1. And it's a corner kick for our visitors again. We can't let lightning strike twice. And that is exactly what we've done. The same man, Zakaria, wins his header at the near post. Instead of going for goal this time, he flicks it and glances it on. And Milik at the back post, completely unmarked. And if you give that space to a £90,000 a week striker, that's exactly what they're going to do to you. 2-1 to Real Sociedad. And it's such a shame because we've competed in the game. We've created a good chance. We've scored a good goal. We've conceded 2 silly, sloppy goals from set pieces. As Damsgaard comes down the left wing again. Gets to the byline here. We're not going to concede from a cross again, are we? Zakaria, the goal scorer from the first goal, gets wide. Out to Wendell. Time on the left to cross. Finds Roberto Lopez. Back to the edge to Gorosabal. Beats his man easily. Slides in for 3. And although this side are a class above, the goals we've conceded are appalling. We really should have done better so far. And as it stands, we're going to be defeated on the first day. And it is not helping, is it? Another injury. And they're all in the same places. 2 number 10s. 2 options at right back. Liam Palmer's going to have to come on. He's not good enough for this level. Physically, he's miles over the hill. And he's going to get an hour here because we have got no other options in the squad. I don't really know what to say about this. It's been an even game. We've given it away on set pieces. And Sociedad lead 3-1. And they're coming forward again here. Neto at the back post probably makes it 4. Good save by Gunnarsson. Probably should have done better there, Neto. And it looks like we're battling with Olympia for 4th place because it's 3rd or 4th only at this rate as we've done it again. Ryan Astley has just completely missed his header and have tapped it in for 4. Another average set piece scored. Where on earth has the defence gone? They've kept clean sheet after clean sheet in domestic action And then that performance. 4 goals from 5 shots for the visitors Sociedad. Awful defending from set pieces. 3 goals directly from them. And an even game is now a heavy defeat. I don't quite know how to explain it. We had the same with Fenerbahce where we conceded a couple of woeful goals. And it's something that's got to be cut out. But then domestically, it's just not happening at all. We're sublime from defending set pieces. As Kene picks the ball up to Palmer again. When we have got possession, we're competing, we're playing football. But Palmer is not up to the speed or standard, gives it away. Kene recovers for him. And we're back with Gunnarsson in goal as he finds Doig the left back. It probably doesn't help that half of the back four's unhappy at the minute. As the ball goes long forward, it's pretty aimless. And Neto can come forward again. Into Zakaria, the first scorer. Out to Damsgaard on the left. The set piece deliverer causing the trouble. And this time it's just wide of the post. 4-1 remains the score. And it's becoming a bit of a worrying day. As Doig throws in towards Malin. Flicks on. It was nearly a first goal for Semenyo. Good challenge by Wendell. It's out for a corner kick. Can we do the same from set pieces? As Guimaraes go 2-0 up at Olympia. They're our next opponent. It's going to be a big game. As Malin gets it on the right. Delivers into Nisbet. Flicks on straight into the arms of the keeper. And I think, he was offside anyway. So wouldn't have counted. But we're competing. We just can't defend the set piece. 20 minutes to go. Only 2 changes left, of course. So we want to try and give players experience. But then most of the subs. I mean, Jason Cummins is 29. Bonner's a lone player anyway. Evans is 26. Vaux is 31. And Meishi is 26. So we've not got any youth on the bench. Mark Flynn was the youth player. And he's got himself injured early on. So I'm going to replace Semenyo, who's been poor. And I'm going to bring on Jason Cummins for him. We'll prioritise our own players there. I guess a positive is Farrell's got a pretty good match rating again. Dylan Tate struggled as the number 10. So let's push Stevie Malin up there. And on the right side of the midfield too, we will bring on Jack Evans. Doesn't get many appearances, so let's give him one here. With 20 to go, it's damage limitation time. As we're back with a free kick on the left-hand side. A goal here could give the fans something to get behind as it's into Porteous and he heads over the bar. I mean, Sociedad haven't been much better at defending the set pieces in this game. And look at that expected goals. If any of you are thinking I'm overreacting or you're doubting what I'm saying, the expected goals for Sociedad is 1.05. So that shows you that bar that third goal, which was quite well worked, the other 3 were all sloppy ones from set pieces. We've actually got the better expected goals. We've had the same amount of shots over the game. We've had the same amount of possession. We've got similar passing stats. We've just not competed from the set piece. And it's something I find so frustrating because we've got a tall team. Farrell in the middle is 6'1". The number 10s normally are quite tall. The strikers aren't too short. The fullbacks are tall. If it's Sutar, he's normally good. Doig's good in the air. He's a solid fullback and centre half. It's very frustrating. We've nearly conceded another awful goal there. In the end, it works its way out to Farrell, and he finds Cummins on the left-hand side. Nisbet's making a run. We'd love to find him in the box there, but it's deflected away. The cross is blocked, and with 3 minutes to go, Sociedad hanging on well. They've pushed it out for a throw-in, and they have defended set pieces better, particularly from the wide areas. So as a result, despite the better expected goals, despite being almost identical on the stats, it is Hibernian 1, Sociedad 4, and there's a lot of thinking to do. Back to the drawing board, particularly from set pieces, and back to face former club Dundee on Sunday. Surely, it can't get worse than that. Well, we might have had disappointment in Europe, but this is still our bread and butter. Don't forget, our main objective this year is to comfortably beat the best of the rest and try, if we can, to push the old firm clubs. And if they can do well in Europe and we go out early and we can get people fit again, we might be alright. But having said that, we've only got 45 minutes for Jimmy Dunn today apparently, 75 for Matthias Bogarts. We've got Bonner just back after a 1 to 2 day knock. Mark Flynn's out for 3 weeks, he'll miss this game. Sutar's still out. We've still got a couple of other injuries as well. Connor Ronan being one, of course. And even though it doesn't affect us directly at the moment, Uzi Sherin, the best young right winger who we sent out from the club, one of the real prospects, he's got a long injury now as well. So there are a lot of negatives at the moment, as Falkirk held Rangers there. That's a good result for them. We're going to be forced into some changes here. So, I don't quite know what to do. I'm looking at Ryan Astley, I'm looking at Ryan Porteous, and I'm looking at Jimmy Dunn. I'm saying, can we get a right back out of any of you? The answer is no. So Jimmy Dunn will be back on the bench. I think Liam Palmer has to start right back. Unless any of these holding midfielders are very competent at it, I don't really think we have an option, and to be in that position this early in the season with this big a squad, and it sort of frustrates me as well. We said about our director of football doing too much potentially. He's bought in, with the one that's coming in January, we'd have 12 central midfielders for those 4 positions, albeit we've needed some of them with the 2 number 10s out. To then have that and only 1 right back does seem a little bit of an oversight. So I think we're going to have to play Liam Palmer. He's an experienced player who's well over the hill, but hopefully he'll do a job for us. Bonner can deputise there if desperately needed. Doig can't despite being right-footed, which is odd. Aside from that, everyone's got a medium or lower match load, so we're okay there. I'm going to replace Semenyo with Cummins or Stansfield. I think Stansfield, because we need to win this game. This isn't about a time of can you get him your first goal. We need to score goals. We need to win games, particularly against the club we left last year. Tate's still there as a number 10. I feel Boggarts could come back in today, so he's going to go on the bench in place of Jack Evans, and I might even start him ahead of Tate. I'm going to do it because he wasn't great in that match. So Boggarts the number 10, we know he's got goals in him, got a good relationship with Nisbet, and got a lot of quality too. So let's go and get into it. It's Dundee v Hibernian, it's former club v current club, it's bottom v second, and we've got to get a win and bounce back. Can we do it? Let's go and find out. 3 changes again then from our previous match. Flynn out, enforced, and then Tate and Semenyo. Palmer in, who thought he'd be playing for this club again, with Boggarts and Stansfield the other 2. They're chosen by me, but we know Boggarts hasn't got 90 in him. We know we've got to try and get Jimmy Dunn some minutes. We've got the League Cup in midweek, so that should help us a little. But for now, this is the lineup we've got. I'm just keeping an eye out for any new faces in the Dundee team. And there are a couple actually. Ryan Hedges, a well-known Welsh winger. Caden Jackson, a good striker, was previously a wonder kid many years ago. There's a player on the bench there with number 39 who I don't recognise. Must be a youngster. But still some quality players in the squad. A couple of the good youngsters on the bench. No Barry Daly, interestingly, after his disaster on the final kick of the season. But it's a good team. Still Carlton Morris there. Liam Kelly in midfield, who signed after we left. But the back four's almost entirely familiar. Daniel Bentley still in goal. And we know what Cooper and Byrne can do. So let's go and get into the first half. We're going to say we expect a much better performance today. We'll get the boys on board. And we want to go positive from the start this time. We want to get the former club on the back foot. And my word, we need to get a victory. Let's see if we can. Well, unfortunately, the early signs are not good. As we're back midway through a corner being taken. And Akinola heads it in. Is that his first goal for Dundee? Oh my words. Where's the defending? We kept 3 clean sheets in our first 4 games. And we have conceded 4 set pieces in 115 minutes here. It's absolutely scandalous. I even made some changes off camera between the matches in terms of defending the set pieces. I don't really understand it. I really don't get it. How on earth has it all gone so wrong defensively? How can you go from winning 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0 to this? Astley picks it up at the back. We need to get back on terms before the break. Boggarts misses the header, but it falls for Nisbet. And just as bad a bit of defending from Dundee at the other end. This time from open play. This time another missed header. And Boggarts, he didn't score the goal, but he caused the trouble. He just sort of became a nuisance. A bit like the old Everton side, the Tim Cahill type. Got in the way, didn't let them win the header. And Nisbet we know is reliable. So half time, back on terms. It's an important moment for us to get the goal. But now can we go and take advantage? We need to get a winner. And we need to avoid conceding from another set piece. Well, we've got past the hour mark. There's no sign of a goal. There's no sign of any change in the play or the patterns. So I'm going to take off Stanfield, who's had an average game. He's going to be replaced by Jason Cummins. It would have been Semenyo, but he looks nervous weirdly. Same for Will Vauxhall in the middle. Not sure what's caused that. Tate will come on as the number 10. Farrell's playing okay, but he's knackered. So I'm going to bring on... It's going to have to be Vauxhall because he's the centre midfielder there. Mallon will become the playmaker. Vauxhall the box-to-box. And we've got the long throw if we need it. So we're going to stick with this for now. Do we go long throws? I think we do. Because we've not looked like scoring too much in this game. So let's go and do it. We're going to attack with the long throws. You've seen it all before. We'll be back in a minute for the last 25. Can we get the winner? And will it be a long throw? 20 minutes to go. It's a long throw from Vauxhall, or is it? He doesn't take it long. He goes short. And it's almost fooled everyone. Cummins back to Doig. In towards Nisbet. And it's cleared long downfield to Ryan Astley. He gets it out to the right-hand side to Palmer. Not been spectacular, but done okay today, and he sets up a goal there. Dylan Tate running off him, gets in behind, and he's given us the lead. His first goal for the club. Would not have started a game yet if either of the two number 10s were fit. But Dylan Tate in, Dylan Tate scores. The long throw is not in use, the short throw fools them. And my word, what a setup from Liam Palmer there. Though we've almost conceded straight away. It's into George Cooper. Gunnarsson saves it, the rebound's in. You have got to be joking. How on earth are we this bad at the back? We didn't concede in 3 of the first 4 league games. We have changed nothing, bar the odd tactical tweak on the corners when we conceded 4 in midweek. And this episode has been an unmitigated defensive disaster. I don't know what more I can do. I'm going to go and have a play around to see if we can do something, but I'm running out of ideas. Can someone let me know, how do you go from a clean sheet and a 1-0 win every week to this in the space of a fortnight? Well, back with 10 minutes to go, and we're back as we're giving the ball away with a long hoof downfield, ignoring every tactical instruction we have on. It's astonishing. As McGee picks it up on the right hand side off the bench, we know how good he is. Kelly finds Adelakan. Back into the right winger again. It's into the box. Morris is there. And Palmer clears downfield. And Cummins flicks on for Tate. It's 2-on-1. Have to score from here. Why did he go alone? He could have laid Nisbet in 1-on-1. And he's been so greedy. Oh, it's going to cost us the game. Oh, and it's another injury. It's right back again. Liam Palmer is injured. The third right back to go down in 3 games. That is absolutely astonishing. We have nobody left at the club that can play right back. And I don't know what to do. I hope there's a good youngster somewhere, because this is starting to become the first injury crisis we've had. It's starting to become the worst situation we've had. And it's starting to become the most confusing season. From winning 1-0 every week to letting in so many set-piece goals. But we've got ourselves in with Dylan Tate again. Oh, he's hit it straight at the keeper. Why will he not pass to Kevin Nisbet? I don't understand. He's getting in great positions and then wasting them every single time. As Stevie Mallon takes the corner, doesn't beat the first man, Carlton Morris. And now it's the counter-attack. So 2-on-2, now a 3-on-2. Men rushing back for us but not doing enough. The ball's in towards Adelaide and down to Cooper. And Gunnarsson makes a good save to tip over. An astonishingly bad end to this football match. And we could throw it away. 4 minutes to go with 10 men. It's into the box. Astley does head this corner clear. And Tate just puts it out for a throw. My word, a 2-2 draw. We'll take it in the end. But this has been one of the most bizarre, one of the most frustrating, and one of the most hopeless episodes I've had. To not really know what to do or how to resolve the issue is something I don't always have. In the end, it's a good result, and after 6 games, we're above Rangers and Celtic. But it doesn't really answer for much. Liam Palmer is out only 1 to 2 days, so not as bad as first thought. I just don't get it. We're going to have a look around for a right back. And that's going to be out of our reserves and our 18s, because of course this is the head coach. We can't sign people. But what a bizarre circumstance we're in. What a bizarre set of events, and we have managed, after 3 clean sheets in the first 4 league games, to concede 6 in the 2 games of this episode, have the better expected goals. The expected goals against across the 2 matches were actually only just about 2, and we've let in 6. So a lot of work to do on the set pieces. I might actually let our assistant take charge of it and just see what he comes up with. We're going to spend all week training it in the build-up to the League Cup game. We'll go and make that decision off camera. And we will be back for our next home game in the Europa Conference Group Stage. It's Vitoria Guimarães just before the November international break. And we'll play the Dundee United game before that. We've got a week's break, which should help out with the legs. And of course, they're the side we're managing in a live stream save, so it'll be nice to catch up with them. We can see if they've still got any familiar names as well. But if you did enjoy this episode, albeit a very frustrating one, albeit one where I was a little bit on edge, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM21 content. We've got this story and our Build a Nation with Bangor City, where again, we've got European action to come in that one. And thank you so much for your incredible support on those series, on the live streams and on the podcast channel too. It really is greatly appreciated. And I hope to see you next time for a bit of a recovery. And touch wood, fingers crossed and all of the rest of it, there'll be no more injuries at Hibernian. And maybe, if we can keep the club at the top, a job offer or a job interview. I'll see you next time to find out.